Before we had gourmet food, before we had fine dining, we had soul kitchens. Welcome to Nuit's Soul Kitchen, and I am Nuit. I would like to take you through a journey of remembering what food really meant to us as humanity, as indigenous people, as people who stretched out a meal, as people who expressed language, love, loss, birth through the art of food. This is what we will do in my kitchen. Today, I would like to take you through making a very simple meal that we are used to going to buy. But did you know that we didn't buy it? It didn't start as a luxury meal. In fact, it started as a meal used by slaves, used by long-distance travelers to stretch out a meal, protein, right? We are going to make Kentucky Fried Chicken at home. But well, it's not really Kentucky Fried Chicken, is it? It's grandma's fried chicken at home. We're going to start with a sauce, a dipping sauce. And for the inspiration for our dipping sauce today, we are going to go all the way to Thailand. We're going to make a sweet mango spicy sauce. So we're going to take a mango. If you have a semi-ripe one, better, much better for you if you have a semi-ripe one. It'll give you that tanginess. But if you have a sweet one, go for it. Mango. You would like a chili depending on your household's tolerance. You know, I take one chili, slice it open, remove all the seeds, dunk it with the mango. We're going to use the half of this, just the juice of a lemon. If you've got a lime, go for that. Kitchens were not about exact measurements, exact formulas. They're about what the soul felt, and more importantly, what you had at hand. We will explore that right here. And you take some cilantro, dhania if you come from my homeland, salt, oyster sauce. These are the ingredients that are going to go in the blender together. I mean, it really is so simple, with a bit of water. When it comes out of your blender, you're going to want to add some coconut cream. If you got coconut milk, go for it. Coconut cream is just a thicker version of coconut milk anyway. Don't let the semantics get you caught. Now, so blend it all up with a bit of salt and adjust to your taste. It's always important to go, not according to how many teaspoons I tell you, but according to what your tongue likes, yes? Let's go ahead and blend. And that is very nicely blended. I would like to taste that because already that smells spicy. Sweet. And because I did not like too much cilantro in mine, it doesn't smell too much like cilantro. I know people have got problems with that, with dhania. I would like to do a taste test. And here. It's very, very yellow. Sorry, happy dance. That is perfect. The coconut milk. Oh, the coconut milk. It gives a subtle kind of, butteriness or softness to it. Reduces the kick of the heat, actually. Reduces the heat of the chili by just a bit that much, but you remain with the spicy kick, and I quite like that. I quite like the combination. I could eat this by itself, but I shan't. I won't be bad manners. Shan't do that. Let's move on to the chicken itself that I had marinated overnight yesterday. That is very important because you want the brine or whichever marinade that you're doing, you want it to get all the way into the sinews because you want to pack as much flavor into your chicken. I see a lot of fast food places making that mistake where they give you a coating on the outside, but they don't really give you a well marinated piece of chicken. In this kitchen, we do flavor. We do big on flavor because, well, I'm a girl from Africa. We do flavor here. Let me get that for you. Here is my chicken marinated overnight. I used pieces of wing combined with some pieces of these things, what do you call them? What do you call them? These things. Wings and thighs. Marinated overnight. The spices I used in here are black pepper, turmeric. I used a bit of garam masala, tandoori masala, chicken masala. Yes, all of that really works together, and you do have to smell everything every step of the way. Salt and all that milkiness you're seeing, that is the yogurt. Plain yogurt, please. Maziwa mala, if you are in East Africa, please use that. It has a wonderful way of tenderizing any kind of meat. So you got lamb, you've got beef, dunk it in maziwa mala. You don't even have to do too much. You can do salt and pepper. Dunk it in there overnight. You'll have something tender the next morning. So yes, we've got this. All the flavors are inside. And we are going to prepare the dredge. As we do that, I am going to put that lovely, yummy sauce away for now. I'm going to put it to chill in the fridge until we are ready, and we're going to work on our chicken, frying our chicken. We've got to create a dredge, a flour dredge for it. We will use the wet marinade as a wet portion. We do not have to do an egg wash. We do not want to waste ingredients as best as we can. So coming back with the flour and the spices to do that dredge. So now we are going to create the flour dredge. Over here, I've got my all-purpose flour. Just all-purpose flour, really. Nothing spectacular. But if you've got self-raising, that'll help you with the bubbles. You want it crispy. Now, this is a part where we create the flour that is going to dredge our chicken, the outer crispy coating, All-purpose flour or self-raising, whichever you've got, to the spices, which are the same that I used as in the marinade. One, we've got turmeric. I like turmeric not only for the coloring factor, but because it's got a lot of health benefits, and black pepper awakens the turmeric, right? So we've got those two, and paprika, that extra smokiness, because, well, why not, right? To join those, we are going to do tandoori masala. This is classically used on, on a tandoori. Put in a tandoor, you kind of skewer it or grill it, This is used in that, but I just like the flavor profile of it, especially from Nature's Own. I like their flavor. Then we've also got chicken masala to complement the tandoori masala and to complement the garam masala. Last but not least, we have got curry powder from Simbambili. You will find, of course, that a lot of the ingredients in these masalas are similar, but the buildup of them is just something different. Simbambili, and we've also got bicarbonate of soda because I'm using all-purpose flour. This is what will give us a kind of crisp on that. Let's do it. Now, because this is my kitchen, we do not do precise measurements all the time. Well, maybe when we are doing, things like pastries, we will do precise measurements. But for now, I believe this is enough to dredge our chicken. But we have to dredge it twice. So I'll do that. But as much as I think will be good enough. Now, for curry powder, again, watch it with your eyes. Curry powder and garam masala were my top notes in the marinade. So for curry powder, I'll do a teaspoon. I will do a teaspoon of curry powder, and I will do a teaspoon and a half of garam masala. I like it spicy, honestly. I like food with a flavor profile that surprises you. I may not necessarily understand it when you eat a food and taste just one particular spice. I'm not sure about the obsession that the world has with that. Because growing up, grandmother did not measure things precisely, and she certainly did not repeat the exact same measurements every time, Sometimes grandma's tongue was a little more salty. Sometimes it was a bit more sweet. sometimes the palate itself demands something else, you know? And I find that food is supposed to respond to who you are. Yeah. And my black pepper. This one, on the flour coating, I'll go a bit heavy on the black pepper. Because for the marinade, I only did about 1/4 teaspoon, but for this, I'll go heavier. Mix it all up real nice. As we're mixing that up, we add in our baking powder, baking soda, not baking powder, baking soda. Because I want it extra crispy, I would do about 1.5 of that. And just mix. And try to get out any lumps of spice that might be caught because... Oh, do you know what we almost forgot? Salt. I will not overly salt my flour because I did quite heavily salt my chicken. I was a bit heavy-handed with that. So I would rather not take that risk. So riddle me this, how did a food that was made and created for survival by slaves in the US, by Africans who were long distance travelers, how did a food that was made for survival end up being such a glorified piece of fast food, you know, that whose roots we barely remember? Again, before we had fine dining, we just had kitchens, we had people doing ingenious things. We had your uncle having his special formula about how he roasts his goat, you know, and somebody turned that into gourmet meals. We had the culture and the history of food, the love of it, before we turned food and life into a commodity, before we turned a single simple meal into a commodity. And really that's where my journey with food started. Now you see that we've created our dredge over here. You have to smell it. Yeah, my spices are quite balanced, and I'm going to prepare the pan and the fuel, the pan and the oil. You will want to cook these on medium-high heat. You do not want to cook them on high heat. I repeat, do not cook them on high heat. Why? Because they will become crispy outside, very beautiful, very golden, but very, very raw on the inside, unfortunately. So let's start that. Just get it hot. And then we will do, this is the process. Dredge once. Yeah. Then we're gonna dip again. I'm gonna just dredge once for a few of them first. Drip off the excess. Dredge. Yeah, so these are the first ones that are going to go inside. So let's just do those 4. Dredge first, and then put it back in there, and then put it back in here. So, like so. Once, put it back. dredge last time. I don't know, there's a whole formula of how not to get your fingers super sticky and stuff, but well, you are cooking, so you might want to get your fingers super sticky and stuff. Besides, in a soul kitchen, does it really matter? You have to touch your food, otherwise is it really a soul kitchen? Is it really your grandma's kitchen if she ain't touching her foot? Ooh, I said her food, excuse me. I was thinking about the expression of putting your foot in, and I was thinking about that. Put your foot in it. These will be quite crispy. And those blobs that, you know, kind of hang on to it, those are your crispy moments. I came into food like this commercially because, you see, I grew up not being allowed to cook. Yes, I know that's ironic for an African girl. Yes, I know. But no, I really was not allowed to cook in my home. But my parents enjoyed taking me out to eat. So that's what I did, and until I got curious about scents and flavors. I'm gonna lower that a bit so that it cooks there. It is hot enough. Yep. Because again, you don't want it smoking hot such that it burns your chicken. I have started the very first one on like a low heat, medium lowish heat, because I would like to observe, again, your pans are not the same, but you know. I usually use here we call it a karai, a nice big karai, so that conducts the heat much faster all around, like a wok. That's what the rest of the world calls it, a wok. But decided to use a pan today. Ooh, and it's starting to form the crinkles. The classic folds are starting to form them. That's not right. But I will increase that heat just a tiny bit. So just so we can get a bit of a sizzle and it doesn't get soggy. Ooh, there we go. There's that crisp. There is that browning. And you leave it alone to just brown on one side for a time. Just leave it alone. I would like to put paper towels in my bowl, but I prefer to put parchment paper rather than paper towels. Just the risk of paper towels falling apart doesn't ache in my mind. So we've got this with some parchment paper ready for our chicken. And that has a beautiful golden crust right now. So when I started cooking, that is the story of Sally. When I started cooking using my sense of smell. And I remember the specific day that I first cooked a meal I was proud of. I had a best friend of mine coming over. I was 9 years old. No, 10. I was 10. And one of my best friends was coming over. Our staff were not around. My mother was not around, and we were hungry. And there was fish in the fridge. And I thought I could whip up something beautiful. I could whip up a curry kind of thing, right? So I went around smelling everything. My best friend had grown up cooking, so she's looking at me thinking, this one is about to poison me. She's never cooked a day in her life. This one is about to poison me. And I'm like, no, relax. Let my nose do the job. And I realized if you smell things, there's a way you can combine them in your head. Okay, which led to the realization that cooking involves all of your senses. You have to look at the food, you have to smell it, you have to listen to how it's cooking. Honestly, like I was trying to listen for sizzles in this without the sizzles, you know? And then you have to taste it. But the sixth sense, you also have to touch your food. We started on that, but the sixth sense, you have to feel your food. You have to. There's no shortcuts to it. And I kid you not, should you ever eat food where the chef has not really put in any emotion or negative emotion too, you might taste it. You might not know what you've tasted, but you will taste the difference. So I learned to cook with my nose, and then I learned to cook with my heart. And I've been doing the same. I've been doing both since. I also learned how to cook while dancing or dance while cooking, which is not for today. That's for another time. Ooh, yes. That one is looking beautiful. That is looking beautiful. It's a little bit more browning, and that will be perfect. And we can put 2 in there at a time, because now our oil is nicely tempered. Put 2 in there at a time. Look at that. Look at that. Look at all that crisp. Look at that. Look at that. Now that's perfect. Yep. Time for the next ones to go in. Shake off the excesses, but also not so much, because the excesses are those crunchy crunchies that we're looking for. If you can see my oil right now, it is yellow. It is yellow, my oil. Yellow from the turmeric. Oh, the crunch. Oh, the crunch. All of it. All of it. It's time to turn these babies. Ooh, ooh. All right, so that is it for the chicken. It takes a lot of patience, I'll tell you that. Yeah, it takes a lot of patience, a lot of calmness to get it to that kind of state where it's nice and crispy. I don't know if you can hear that. It's just, I mean, can you hear that? It's crispy. Yeah, and it's huge because of all the breading that you put in it. And okay, I'm gonna be just a tiny bit sneaky and break off it. Salt is quite fine. Now, spices are quite fine too in the breading. I want us to work on the fries. I had cut them. I had just left them out for quite a time just to get them air dried. Yeah. One of the few things I was taught growing up is that if you leave your chips to dry, makes for crispier chips. Even though I wasn't allowed to cook, they still taught me. Anyway, so let's go at it. Got my pan out. There. And let's get that going. obviously on high heat because, well, fries. I am feeling experimental. I usually add some vinegar. Now, if you are Kenyan, you have this memory of brown vinegar. Do you remember that brown vinegar? I'll teach you another time how to make that. But for today, if you want to zhuzh up your fries, salt, you can do cayenne pepper or chili flakes if you like. Add in some, some drops of vinegar or just enough vinegar as you like. Toss it. Have it as a snack as it is. Let me tell you, it is heaven on a plate. If you want to make your crisps, I'm salivating. But if you want to make your chips even crispier, double fry them. Trust me, double fry them. They become yellower with the second fry, but it is such a satisfying crunch when you bite into that. However, we're not going to do all of that today because this is a star of our meal. That fried chicken is a star of our meal. It will transport us back to our ancestors. It will remind us of exactly who this came from. And it will also be yummy in our tummies, which is what we're aiming for at all times in my soul kitchen. Mid soul kitchen. Not even close. Patience. You can tell that I struggle with patience. But what better place to teach oneself, really? The art of patience, the art of even creating when you do not have it inside you to create, What better place to teach yourself to have that fortitude than the kitchen, There are times I will stand in my kitchen for nary a whole day and the meal that I have made will be devoured in exactly 5 minutes. That teaches you, it's like creating a mandala in the sand. There are those Tibetan monks who will go out into the sand at the beach and create these amazing pieces of art, transcendental pieces of art. It'll take them hours to do it. But at the right moment of the tide coming in, the tide will come and swish it all away, wash it all away. And it teaches you the impermanence of life. It teaches you to enjoy that even though things go like that, time goes like that, things are impermanent, even though that is a fact of life, there is beauty in that fact. There is magnificence in that fact. And embrace your temporal nature. Embrace your temporary nature. Embrace that time is not all that we think it is. Embrace that time cannot be kept in a container. You can't bottle it up and say, I have this much time. You really can't. So if I took 6 hours to make a meal that is eaten in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, what does it matter? What does it matter? Makes me think, of how in African societies or indigenous communities all over the world, really, people would sit down together to share a meal. It wasn't all meals a day that you could logistically or logically share together, but there is a meal that you would try to share. Every so often as a community, you would come together to eat together. You, as a woman, I would sneak away to go and sit with my auntie who makes the best chapatis, because the stories in her kitchen, the way she needs her chapatis, the way she needs her stories, Or other times I would refuse to sit with the women and I'd go and sit with the men who were slaughtering a goat, slaughtering and grilling. Why? Because the stories there are something else. They're wild, they're raucous, they're the stories that your uncle should not be telling, his niece. But that's what I found around food. Stories, information, wisdom. I found little secrets. This herb does this. When you cook it like this, it turns out like this, The same tomato could be cooked 300 times. The same chicken, the same piece of chicken could be cooked 300 kinds of ways. Stories, all those are stories. All those are souls of people. People who decided or who just felt to cook it a different way. There we go, just very slightly browning at the edges. That is beautiful. And here is our finished meal. So we've got fries, which by the way, we need to salt while they're still hot. Bit of salt, a bit of paprika for color, and slight smokiness. And a bit of black pepper, because we like spices in this house. And just toss that, right? Ooh, that was for mama. Salt is just right. And we've got that. Our fried chicken pieces of KFC, baby. Crunchy, feel that? That's a lot of scraping, but it's fun to do, I promise you. So, got a piece of chicken right there. And also, well, we like to eat with our hands, so that's exactly what we shall do. Piece of chicken there, bit of fries over there, right? And do you guys remember the sauce we made right at the beginning? Yeah, a mango sauce, a sweet mango sauce. Put a dollop of that just right at the edge there. See how we like it. And it is time for the truth. Let us see. It's a bit hot. The spice went all the way in. That could also go in the mango. Why not? Listen, if you're crying because you have a heartbreak, all you have to do is make this. If you're happy, make some fried chicken. If you're anxious, make some fried chicken. If you need food to eat for like 5 days, make some fried chicken. I've already told you how. Okay, bye. Yeah.